the best, the worst. This is your top 5, bottom 5 on D-Mac and Ryder.
All right, so we're doing best first.
We do best first?
Yeah. So
Okay.
do you want to go? You go first.
We go first? Okay.
But you
4.
gotta wait for the number though.
Start at number 5.
Number 5.
That guy loves numbers.
Number 5.
So for number 5, I was lucky enough to be at the 2001 NBA Finals Game 1, where Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue. First time I've ever been to an NBA Finals game. It was absolutely electric. I actually was wearing Iverson's shoes in a Kobe jersey, so I was a little conflicted because I loved Iverson and Kobe at the same time. And I just remember seeing these giants, Shaq, Kobe, AI, in their prime. It was an incredible game, and thankfully the Lakers would go on to win the next 4 and take it as a gentleman's sweep. But I'll never forget your first finals game. Shout out to my mom. I don't know how we got tickets, but great tickets, and she'll never forget that iconic moment. And even though it was a loss, it was just a great game.
That's an amazing moment.
Good times.
Wow.
Number 4.
Number 4, I'm going 2018 World Series Game 3 against the Boston Red Sox. Dodgers versus the Red Sox. I went with my friend Joe. We were sitting in the pavilion, and there was this terrible Red Sox fan that kept heckling and this and that, and I was going at him saying that the Yankees are your daddy and the Yankees have so many World Series. That, at the time, was the big card to play against Red Sox fans, was how many more World Series the Yankees had. And it got so bad that the Dodger Stadium crowd was going against him, and they blamed me for having all these fans go at this Red Sox fan. So the Dodger Stadium security came up to me, and they kicked me out of the pavilion.
What?
They grabbed me from my seat, and they were like, "What are you doing? Get out of here. Why are you heckling fans from other teams?" And then right when we turned the corner, they showed me love. They're like, "Yeah, we love it, man. We're just going to give you better seats." So they actually relocated
That's
me
amazing,
to the
dude.
Loge, and I actually got upgraded because they actually liked that I was heckling the Red Sox fans. They all love me, but they just didn't want me to have any issues because this Red Sox fan was being kind of a jerk. So shout out to Dodger Stadium fans and the...
Can we get a cheer? That's one of the best. That is one of the great
Yeah, it was good times.
audibles.
I will go at you. I will go at you at a game. Heckling-wise, I will go at you yeah.
If we go to a game together, will you just heckle me?
I can heckle you all day, every day. So that was awesome because it was an 18-inning games over 7 hours, 7 hours and 20-minute game, and Max Muncy hit the walk-off in the 18th inning. Just an incredible moment. So that's what I got as number 4.
Number 3.
All right, next, I was at the Kobe game winner against the Suns. The bang! Bang! I was at that game when Mike Breen hit that shot, when Mike Breen made that iconic call. Kobe hit the one to tie it. He hit the one.
You're crazy, man.
And it was his first... I mean, he had the game winner against the Suns earlier in his career in the playoffs, but that's one of our most iconic moments for Kobe. That big game winner against the Suns in the first round when he was going to war with butter knives, right? It was the Smush Parkers, the Ronnie Turiafs, the Luke Waltons, and Kobe had that big moment, the game winner.
Can you give me that? I didn't quite catch the...
It was. I'll never forget. I mean, Kobe. First of all, he gets the tip, and then he goes to his spot, hits the jumper, and then Mike Breen goes, bang! And it was so electrifying. It was just such a moment. What a call by Mike Breen.
That's a great call all the way around.
Yeah.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, oh, come on, I love it. Number 2, I'm going World Series Game 3 this past year, just because we saw Shohei reach base 9 times. We saw Shohei hit 2 home runs, have 2 doubles,
Wow.
4 extra base hits. He set a record, and then Freddie Freeman hit the walk-off hit the walk-off home run the 18th inning. And one thing I loved about the moment was Freddie Freeman, he became the first player to hit walk-off home runs in multiple World Series, but it was when he did it because it prevented the Dodgers from having to use Yoshinobu Yamamoto because he ended the game because Yamamoto, having pitched a complete game, went to Dave Roberts, and then emerged in the bullpen, was going to pitch possibly the 19th. Freddie, he ended the game, and then Yamamoto was the hero later in the series, so he was able to be rested and ready to go in Game 6 and Game 7.
Dude, that's a goosebumps game from a television. That you were there is... I mean, this is why sports are the freaking best, man.
Yeah, the Dodger Stadium rocks like no other, man. It really does it. It's just unbelievable.
It is a rare and special place.
Number 1.
Number 1, I'm going Shohei Ohtani, NLCS, Game 4, The greatest game in the history of sports. The greatest individual performance we've ever seen. Shohei Ohtani was Superman that night at Dodger Stadium. 3 home runs, one that cleared the roof in the pavilion. And then also, he had 10 strikeouts, and the Dodgers swept the Brewers. It was incredible. He struck out 3 in a row, then hit a home run on the first at-bat. Just the all-time flex. It was just the most insane thing I've ever seen an athlete do. He looked like he was a superhero play amongst little leaguers. It was just incredible stuff that night. A special night. To me, it's on another level than Kobe's 81, Wilt's 100, whatever you say. The fact that it was in the NLCS when he did it, all-time stuff.
Do you know, D-Mac and Ryder 97.1 The Fan, we're doing our best and worst list, and we're doing our favorite and least favorite moments of sports events we've been to in person. Do you know there's just the go-to question at a party with a buddy, if you could go back in time and meet someone, who would you, whatever? In 20, 50 years, when people do that with sports, that will be on people's lists.
Absolutely. I have the most wild stat that'll blow your mind real quick. Since the mound moved to its current distance in 1893, 1,550 players have struck out 10 batters in a major league game. In that stretch, 503 players have had 3 home runs in one game. Only one player has done both simultaneously, and it's the one, Shohei Ohtani.
That is a hell of a list. Love it. All right, I'm up. Here we go.
Number 5.
Mine are a little more further afield because of my career covering sports all over the place. But this one is on July 5th, 2012, at Dodger Stadium. The first time I ever took my son and my daughter to a baseball game was Dodger Stadium. I don't remember who won. I don't remember the moment. I don't remember the outcome of the game. All I remember is my kids falling in love with baseball and my son falling in love with the Dodgers. And it, you know, as a father, as a parent, there are a few things you do with your kids that have immediate connective tissue that you just, it reminds you of your time with your dad and your dad with his granddad and you with your, and that moment was one of them.
Number 4.
This was really crazy, and this is at 4. This is really hard to play. So, I think I brought this up on the air. When I was covering the NBA full-time, I had to decide. I spent the last 2 or 3 months of the NBA season in that 2016 season following the Warriors to see if they get to 72 wins. And they had a chance to get to 73. I had to decide, do I go to the Warriors game or do I go to Kobe's last game in LA? And then the last minute, I had a ticket. I had a ticket to the Bay. I had a credential to both. At the last minute, I thought, no, I'm going to go to Kobe's game. And obviously, this is a game where he scores 60 and he has this amazing farewell. And the thing about it that was magical is that in sports media, at least my sort of realm of sports media, you're not allowed to cheer in the press box. You're not allowed to be emotional. You do keep a separation. You want to have, you know, a sense of humanity with the people that you cover and you talk to them, but you're not supposed to. And when they moved the press conference to it was basically set up like a finals. The crypto will set up the sort of loading dock area, it's sort of back to the left when you walk in the media entrance for finals where it's hundreds of people. It's the only time I've ever seen this where it wasn't a finals game, let alone a regular season game. And I walked in a little bit late because I was like doing a TV thing, but I got to before Kobe. Kobe was coming in when I was coming in, and I've never seen a media room be that electric with joy in just a press conference, because press conferences have a different energy. It was special to be there to watch what Kobe did on the floor, and it was special to be in that room as basically he had this love affair goodbye press conference with the people that had covered him and sparred with him, and the mutual respect and love. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome stuff. I'll never forget, Bill, when he had that jersey on and the reporter asked him, hey, your jersey's still on. Do you not want to take it off? And Kobe kind of denied it, and then he started laughing. Like, you might be right. He didn't want to take that Lakers jersey off because the last time, but unbelievable. The Mamba out game, that's an all-timer.
Dude, it's one of those moments where it's easy to take for granted what you do for a living, even doing this for a living. That was one of those moments where I'm like, wow, I'm really, really blessed and lucky as hell to be not only doing this for a living, but be here right now.
Number 3.
Numbers. This will not resonate with most people, but as I noted, I became a huge Barcelona football soccer fan because we love the city, and Lori and the kids and I have gone back a lot. We've gone back 3 times a year. We've lived there over summers. I mean, we love it there. LA and Barcelona are the 2 greatest cities on the face of the earth. And the first time I took my family to Camp Nou to a game, they started singing the Catalan basically chant, and I turned, and my wife was crying. Like, she was so for me, like, the first time going to Camp Nou for me is like an all-time moment, because it's the moment I realized, like, wow, this sport that I played my whole life, but I played at a very mediocre level that I gave up to do other things and I wasn't interested. I am totally all in love with again.
Number 2.
So I grew up a Cubs fan, and weirdly, I don't know why it's sort of waned on me. I kind of feel like a bad person. I just don't. I've watched more Dodgers games than I have Cubs games in the last 3 years. But my grandfather, who I'm named after, always wanted the Cubs to win the World Series. It did not happen in his lifetime. Shortly after he passed away, the Cubs made the World Series. I covered that series. I was at the game in Cleveland when the Cubs won that thing, and I'm gonna get I'll try not to get emotional. It's cheesy, but like I wasn't allowed to have any emotion, right? So I did my job. And then I went to the Cleveland airport bar and called my mom and dad and like burst into tears. And the lady at the bar, it was like 7 a.m, looked at me like, what a loser, because she had no idea a World Series had just happened. So for me, that moment, like calling my mom and dad, just like, oh my God, they won it for granddad, was really cool.
Number 1.
Yeah, I'm not crying, you're crying, Doug. Shut your face, Doug.
I'm chopping onions over here. My eyes are sweating.
So this is about my son, and he's actually flying for the first time by himself, so he won't hear this. He gets sensitive. Henry's amazing. I love him. He's a great kid. But like a lot of kids, he had kind of a rough stretch, and kids weren't being nice to him, and he felt bad about himself as a soccer player. And we went to an LAFC game, which is an amazing place. And it happened to be, we got lucky with the tickets, the first time that Messi had come to LA when he came to Inter Miami. And Henry is obsessed with Leo Messi, best player in the world, obviously Argentinian player and was a Barcelona player. And Messi saw, I don't remember, do you guys remember, was it Ant-Man? He saw one of the Marvel characters, and his kids love, I think it was Luke Wilson. Actually, he was in the Loki thing, or it was Owen Wilson. And Messi came over, and my son just kind of ran through the crowd. And Henry's really small for his age and kind of got underneath people. And if you watch the ESPN FC clip, there's this clip of Messi like talking to Owen Wilson and looking down and smiling. And Messi like got down, lowered down, and said something in Spanish to Henry and signed. Henry had an Argentina Messi jersey on. And it was like this incredible moment where Henry's like, oh my God, good things happen in the world. And I love my son, but he wasn't exactly Pele at AYSO. He was the kid like the ball would go under his legs. And the next game, he came out, hand of God, and scored a goal. And we're like, what the hell? And the game after that, he dribbled around a guy and like bent up. Like Messi touched him, and Henry scored 15 goals in AYSO. Went from being the worst player on the team to the best player on the team. And it's a crazy, like, simulation, God, all the above, the magic of Messi, like, I don't know. But it was, and that is a moment where a sporting event in Los Angeles transformed my son's life.
That's amazing. That's great.
Dude, I'm not going to show it, but like, I'm bad at my phone. I'll share the photos later where like we captured the moment on TV where Messi sees Henry and looks down and smiles. Because Henry's short, Messi's short, right? So like there was this, and Henry's just like earnestly staring up at him. It was, dude, I'm Messi for life, bro.
That is all-time stuff. That is stuff you'll never forget, and that's why sports are the best.
They are, man.
What if CR7 touched you? What if it was Ronaldo? You'd be like the most arrogant player ever, or
if CR7 had touched Henry, I would get an exorcism. I would call my priest.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh my god! Oh, all right. Now we're doing. All right. Now you're. Oh,
we're doing bottom 5.
Yeah,
so,
that's funny.
So these are the 5 worst sporting events that I've ever attended, but doesn't mean that the game was bad. But for me, the worst experience.
On your own parameters.
Worst experience. All right. I'm ready to roll.
Do you like numbers?
I do. Let's hit number 5.
Number 5.
Drive, baby.
So my mom is a big Ohio State fan, and my granddad went to Ohio State, loves the Buckeyes, right? OHIO. Went to the 2002 National Championship game, Miami Hurricanes, Ohio State Buckeyes. It ended up being one of the greatest games of all time. Miami was riding a 34-game win streak. Ohio State won the game. Only issue was, at halftime, I was walking around the stadium in Tempe looking for food. I think I needed to get something for my camera, and I unintentionally left the stadium. And I actually left the stadium on accident, and I was trying to get back in, and they wouldn't let me back in, right? So they wouldn't let me back in, and I'm like in like middle school at this point. They refused, like, dude, you left the stadium, sorry, there's no re-entry. And guess what I did? I played the crying card.
Hell yeah, you did.
Started crying, please, man, let me back in. I want to see the game. Thankfully, the tears worked. I was crying. The funny thing is the crying didn't work right away. Like, they made me cry for like 10 minutes. Like, first tear, they should have let me in. But I was like deep in it. I'm like, I was like singing the fight. So I was like, fight the team across the field. Show them Ohio's here. I was like doing the whole thing. And thankfully, this really nice guy was like the fourth quarter, like, let him in, man. Don't leave the stadium again. What are you thinking? You crazy? Lets me back in. I see the greatest game, but it was really scary at one point because like my mom was like, where the heck is he? It was just me and my mom. So it was bad. It ended up being good. It was a really controversial game. It was a crazy call at the end, but Ohio State won their first national championship since 1978.
That is
68.
That is both shocking and the most Doug McCain thing I've ever heard.
Hey, I got back in, baby.
Yeah, he did.
Number 4.
Number 4, which is kind of crazy, but this one is, I would say, probably the most painful loss that I've ever experienced, and that is, of course, the Lakers Game 4 choke against the Boston Celtics in the 2008 Finals. Was there, experienced it, and I've never felt more pain in a loss. I never felt more devastation. It really felt like, man, will Kobe ever get that title after Shaq? That one just, it burned me to the core because it was such a letdown. Thankfully, I want to give a big shout out to the Spurs now for now having the worst finals meltdown when they lost the other night. But that's one,
funny.
all-time terrible stuff. It's tough for me to even talk about right now.
That is very, very funny.
Number 3.
All right, number 3 was my senior year at UCLA. UCLA was playing USC on the road.
Where is this going?
I know, right? Shout out to the Jean. She was with me. And I was like, all right, we're going to go to the Coliseum. We're going to go to the Coliseum. It's UCLA's, it'll be my last game. And UCLA got absolutely boat raced. They lost 50-0, right? 50-0. And I was sitting in the section where all the UCLA parents were and where the coaches were. And by the third quarter, I was like, Joe Fourier sucks! Joe Fourier sucks! And that was the tight end for the team. And his mom came up to me and had her drink and poured it all over me in front of Gene. And Gene was like, I hate you. Why are you embarrassing me? Why can't we just lose and this and that? And I was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, fire Neuheisel! Fire Neuheisel! And guess what? They fired Neuheisel. So on Monday, even though Gene was mad at me, he's like, I told you I was right. I was right. Taking the victory lap. They fired Neuheisel, but that was the worst.
Were you married yet?
No.
The charm of Doug McCain on full display, dude.
All the players,
Wow.
all the players' families were yelling at me like, "Get this guy out of here!" Funny thing is, usually that's coming from a drunk guy, right? I was completely sober. I was still heckling like, oh my goodness, like fire Dan Guerrero. He was the AD at the time, and we call it the white flag game because UCLA broke out these white uniforms, and they just absolutely got destroyed by USC, 50-0. Absolutely embarrassing.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. This one is an interesting one because this one's painful beyond belief too. Let's run some sound here.
Pitch on the way. Round ball right side into the shift to his left Altuve has it in short right.
On to first, and the Houston Astros
World Series champions. Who would have ever believed?
So this one hurts so badly. This is the last time I've ever actually cried as a fan, and it was a kind of a emotional experience. I wanted that team to win so bad. I remember just leaving that stadium so defeated, just the worst. And then we found out about the cheating stuff, but the sad thing about that game, Bill, was that they weren't even in it. They lost 5-1, but now let's go to number 1.
That's real heartbreak, dude.
Number 1.
All right, for number 1, I think most Dodgers fans would say, wait, D-Mac, why is this number 1? After you hear the sound, you'll ask, what the heck is he talking about?
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie! Game 1 of the World Series!
So you're probably, wait, why was that a bad game? I'll tell you why. Well, because as media, the line was so long to get into the Dodgers clubhouse after the game that it became a habit to leave and go down there and get in line before the game was over, right?
Oh, no.
So I typically never did that. I used to always make fun of the media. I'd be like, those guys, what are they thinking? Let's not forget why we got in this business in the first place, because we're fans of this. Don't go and get in that line just to get a Shohei Ohtani interview and all this stuff. But unfortunately, I went down there, and I got in line, and I found out about the Freddie Freeman Grand Slam on my phone. I didn't even get to see it live. I don't even claim that I went to that game. It was so wrong. I'll never do it again. I didn't get to see the Freddie Freeman walk-off Grand Slam. It's a pain that burns. The first Grand Slam in World Series history, and I'm down there in line with the media, an absolute schmuck, man. Can't believe I did that.
You left the
Yeah.
ballpark like you did the stadium, but this time you did it on purpose.
This time I did it on purpose, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. It burns my soul.
That is
I'm sorry, Freddie.
I will go fast.
Number 5.
Game 3 of the 2011 NBA Finals, in which the Mavs beat Miami Heat. Why, you ask? Because this was the first year that I was a national columnist covering the Heat, covering LeBron. Had kind of broken through. People knew who I was. You know what that's like, where you sort of start to have some success. And Zach Lowe, a couple times, like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, oh, Zach Lowe's an enemy. So I got a really good seat, because the Heat would put me up in the rafters, because they hated me, and every other team would put me as close. I was basically sitting on the bench because they're like, we like your coverage of LeBron, because it was sort of inverted. And I'm walking to my seat, and I have an amazing seat, and Adrian Wojnarowski's to my left, and Zach Lowe's to my right. And Zach goes, hey, Bill, what's up? And I'm like, oh, he knows me. And I tripped, and I dumped my entire water directly onto his keyboard. Like, upside down onto his keyboard. I'm like, wow. And I was not one of the cool kids.
Number 4.
Every NBA All-Star game that ever existed, I had to go to. I hate the NBA All-Star game. It is the worst event on the face of the earth. It's abstraction to some of all human knowledge. I won't belabor this other than that I had to cover everything, and I'll never forget going to the celebrity game. And when Justin Bieber did his third crossover that worked, and everyone knew it didn't work but him, and he thought he was a baller, I realized I hated all of existence in that moment.
Number 3.
I'm gonna go. This is a weird one. I'm gonna go with the Falcons collapse. I covered Super Bowl 51, and I didn't really have a dog in that hunt. But I had a lot of friends from Atlanta just randomly, and it's just like Tom Brady had enough. And watching that happen, and watching it's like watching the Chainsaw Texas Massacre. And you just observe it. It wasn't my team. I didn't really care. I wrote what I wrote. I was doing my job. But people were, just to watch that kind of heartbreak for a random fan base, for some reason, just stuck with me. And I also hated Tom Brady at the time.
Number 2.
So the 2008 Final Four championship game in which Memphis lost to Kansas. I'll tell this as quickly as I can. I know we're a little bit over here on DMAC and Ryder 97.1 The Fan. There's a rule, or at least there used to be when I covered college basketball, that when the games end, the coach comes to the podium with 2 or 3 players. You are not allowed to ask the coach questions until the players they sort of tell you that you can't, even though the players still sit up there. Every time, they say this 9 times, and every time some idiot goes, hey, coach, what are you? And they're like, hey, idiot, we just told you. So my assignment on deadline for the Kansas City Star was to ask Cal, this is way in the weeds, why he didn't foul Sharon Collins, who then passed the ball to Mario Chalmers and gave Kansas a chance to make this amazing comeback and win the game. Okay, that's not a fun question to ask Calipari. It's not, but it was my job. But I'm running around, it's deadline, I run in, and I sit down, and it's, you know what it's like in this energy where, like, you look like an idiot on the microphone, which is part of the job, and I turn to my colleague, who I won't name, I hate this guy, I'm like, can we ask coaches the questions? He's like, what? Can we ask coaches the questions? He's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, great. They're like, any questions? I didn't know it was the first question. Like, friends of mine I hadn't heard from years texting me, like, you're an idiot, you're on ESPN. I raised my hand, like, hey, Bill Ryder, Kansas Star, why are you stupid? Why didn't you foul? Sharon Collins, why'd you lose the whole thing? Okay, thanks. I gotta know why you're dumb. And there's this, I heard the gasp of the entire room, and I knew my soul was gonna leave my body. And the guy was, sorry, we're not asking coaches questions. So another 15 minutes went on, but the whole time, Cal just stared at me from the top of the dais, like his just temples throb. Just like, I tried to look away and look back up. He murdered me with his eyes. And then after 15 minutes, like, all right, coach has questions. He's like, I'll answer the question. You want answers? And I'm like, I don't want answers. You want the truth? No, not anymore. It was awful.
Wow.
It was a terrible moment.
Crazy.
It was not great.
Number 1.
Again, Cubs fan, I was at the Bartman game. I couldn't get tickets and didn't have the money. I drove from Des Moines, Iowa, 6 hours. I was on Waveland. I thought we were going to win a World Series. I heard the gasp of Wrigley Field because we were listening on the radio. There's a delay, obviously, and I knew something had gone wrong. I went with Cardinals fans. It was the worst moment of my life. I did cry. They made fun of me the entire 3-mile walk, even though they promised they wouldn't. On the way back to the car, I got in the car, drove back, because I knew they were going to lose Game 7. I don't want to even be there. I was speeding. I was having trouble staying awake. I pulled into what I thought was a rest stop. It wasn't. It was a homeless encampment. They were banging on my windows. I got out of there somehow like The Walking Dead. Got back on the highway. Was going too fast. A cop pulled me over. Basically burst into tears. Told him the story. He's like, I'm a Cardinals fan. Gave me the ticket. Got to an actual rest stop somewhere in Iowa. Fell asleep for 4 hours. Got back to my place in Des Moines in time to watch the Cubs blow another lead and lose the World Series. So that was it.
Pain.